Good afternoon, everybody. How is your week going? Hope everybody's doing well. Right now, the weather is great, but it's going to start getting hotter for us over here in California. So it's around that time. It starts getting hot. Like summer, spring and the summer is just bad. So spring, fall, summer and fall gets pretty bad over here. May to October, and after that, it's nice. Well, it gets colder. So, but I hope everybody's doing great. I just wanted to come on because of the Karmelo Anthony case. I wanted to speak on that. And a lot of you guys are seeing people put their statements out there, and they're trying to come with, politics. So they're trying to come with right versus wrong, which is good. Don't get me wrong, but I wanted to go over the facts of the case, and I wanted to go over people's responses and why they're responding in that fashion, and just the truth of the matter. So just keep it on the facts. Carmelo Anthony went to a track meet, a public track meet that his high school and another high school were doing. So he goes into a visitor's tent, meet like is confronted by two kids who he doesn't know. They ask him to leave. The Metcalf kid asks him to leave. He doesn't leave. Like he's being pushed to leave, and he's telling him, "Touch me and see what happens," and stabs him. Now, based on the facts, this kid is going to a high school different from the high school that Metcalf was going, which means he doesn't know him. He's not being. I've heard people say he's being bullied. He wasn't being bullied. He never even met that kid. You went into a visitor's tent, so a tent you don't belong to, that has nothing to do with you. You're asked to leave a place you don't belong to, and then you threaten them talking about touch me and see what happens, and they push you, and you get an attitude of being pushed because you're in a place you don't belong, and your reaction is to take it to the level of murder by stabbing this kid. That's pretty much what happened. And so this kid gets 35 years, and you have all these statements coming out about it. Some people say he should have got 50 years. Some people feel like because the way he lived his life before this happened, he should have got more of a break. Look, there are two sides to every story, but there's only one truth. So if we're going to do this based upon the truth, we're going to do this based upon God, and then we're going to go into man from there. People are responding based upon what they believe, and people believe based upon their doctrine. There are three doctrines in this world. There's the doctrine of God, the doctrines of men, and the doctrine of devils. So the doctrine of God we know is always right. And the doctrine of God states this, like, thou shalt not kill. Why are you killing someone? Why are you stabbing someone when you're in a place you don't belong in the first place, a place full of witnesses? Why are you going to a track meet with a knife in the first place? You're looking for trouble. You're looking to do something to somebody. You're looking to hurt someone. Then you threaten a kid you don't even know, talking about touch me and see what happens. You stab him, then you jog away from the scene, and you sit there and wait for people saying he touched me, so I stabbed him. What? That's crazy. Nobody, look, let me tell you something. If that was your kid or anyone else's kid, I don't even have kids. If I had kids, I don't want to hear about what his life was like before, what he did before. People don't seem to understand this. It doesn't matter what you did before, depending upon the severity of what you just done. Let's say you're working at a call center and you're on the phone, and you've been working in a call center for like 20 something years, right? Everyone says, you're a great representative. You go above and beyond. You're really helpful with the customers, and you show a lot of support. You make sure people get their stuff taken care of. You don't lose it when you get upset, or people get upset. You don't take it personal. And then one day in your 20 something years, you do something. You don't do something where you get upset and you make a mistake, or you lose your cool and go off on the customer. That happens. People understand that. No, You decide to threaten that customer with their life, talking about, if I see you, I have your address. If I see you, I'm going to come and I'm going to kill you because I don't like how you're coming at me on the phone. Nobody wants to hear what you did 25 years prior because of what you did. It's about the severity of the issue. It's not about it's not about the fact that you made a mistake. It's what you've done. God treats things based on the severity of the issue. People think sin is sin. Sin is not just sin. The Bible teaches there are sins that are greater than others. The Bible teaches that there are sins that are not unto death. Murder is not one of them. Murder is unto death. This kid got 35 years. You should have gotten more. Like fact is, you went looking for trouble. You went to hurt somebody. That's the truth. And that's what you did. You took a child's life. That's all that matters. That's it. Period. Period. You went into a place you didn't belong. You went to a school that was a whole different school, so you never met this kid. You had for whatever was going on with you on the inside or whatever you were dealing with or whatever, you made a choice and you killed somebody. Period. That's how God is going to see it. God is looking at it God is like, you murdered someone. No, that's it. You murdered somebody. That's as far as it goes. People are going to look further into the evidence of it to see if they should be more lenient, but this kid had no remorse. His parents didn't apologize. They used crowdfunding and made, I've heard 500,000. No, when you look into it, they made over $600,000. Only some of that money has been reported that some of that went to his legal fees. Where did the rest of that money go? He had a private attorney, but it's not enough. Whatever they spent did not cover a whole $600,000. This kid's gonna spend 35 years in prison because he chose to be evil. That's what it goes down to. For whatever was going on with him, he chose to take it out on someone who had nothing to do with it. Now, from people's perspective, you have two types of situations. You have the Democrats and you have the Republicans. Now, we have to stop acting like, look, I'm not a Democrat. And I think a lot of the Democrats, especially the liberals, are crazy. 100%. But that doesn't mean that everything they're saying is crazy. Some things they're saying is valid. From the man or from a men's doctrine perspective, you have to learn to decipher what is right and what is wrong. When it comes to God, everything is right. When it comes to the devil, everything is wrong. But when it comes to man, that's when we have to learn to decipher, okay, that's true. Okay, that's not true. And that's what people are coming from now when it comes down to Metcalf. Some people are coming from the way of the Lord saying, hey man, you murdered somebody. It's got nothing to do with race. You took a child's life. That's it. And you took it without reason. No one was jumping you. No one was hurting you. There are plenty of witnesses there. They could have, if anything was happening to you, they would have stopped it. No, that's not what happened. You came to this place looking to hurt someone. Maybe you didn't mean to kill him, but that's not the point. You did it. The intent doesn't matter. Your intention doesn't matter when you do what's evil like that. That doesn't matter. People act like intent means something. Well, his intent, who cares? A kid is dead now. His father, now he's down to one son. That's it. But from people's perspective, you have the Democrats saying, well, if he was if he's black, so because he's black, they should be showing him more they're gonna be more severe on him versus if it was a white kid doing it. And there is evidence that white people have done things and gotten more leniency in comparison. So we can't act like that doesn't exist. We can't act like that doesn't exist. There is black people and from that perspective, we do have a reason to feel a certain way. But that doesn't apply here. And what's happening is you have these black people out here that are using the emotions of us as a race, of what we've been through in America, against us. They're using it under evil intentions. Look, black people have a right to look at things from a suspective point of view, like because of what we've been through. We have a right. If any other race has gone through and we've gone through in this country, you would do the same. 100%. You would. So we're not going to act like that doesn't have that there's no effect of that. But what's happening is there's these black folks out here that are using it, and they're using it for evil intentions. They're actually trying to use the hurts and the pains of what we have been through as a people in this country, and they're trying to use that to mask their evil intentions, their evil feelings, their evil desires, because there is no excuse for why this kid did what he did. You got people out here saying, well, that's what y'all get. We've been killed and it's gone unanswered, so that's what happens. No, you're just evil. That's an evil statement. And I honestly, I personally am ashamed to say you're black, because but real black people don't talk like that. I'm sorry, we don't. Real black people do not use the hurts that we've been through as an excuse to go kill people. That's what psychos do. I've been abused, so I'm gonna go abuse others. Psychos do that. That's an excuse. Do I understand where we're coming from when we say that? Like that feeling of, man, we've had a lot of injustices. It's like they don't know what it's like, and I feel this way. I get that, but you can't use that as an excuse for someone's life to be taken. That's what psychos do, and real black people ain't saying that. Real black people are not saying that. Look, there's a statement that we say in the black community: skin folk ain't kinfolk. That we always want to use that towards Republicans that are black. No, that belongs to Democrats too, and liberals. That belongs to those who don't really represent us correctly. Those that represent us correctly believe in right versus wrong. They believe in facts. They don't believe in race as a way to mask your evil, wicked feelings and thoughts. And that's what they're doing. So now on the other side of it, Republicans, you got these black people that are acting like the feeling of black people feeling like, for what we've been through and the suffering we've gone through, doesn't matter in comparison to what happens to other people. Like, or our feeling, not that it doesn't matter, our feelings aren't warranted. If you've been through what we've been through, you would feel the same way. So let's not act like it's not coming from a place. Let's not act like it's not coming from somewhere. That the feelings of feeling like, man, things happen to us all the time. There's a situation where, there are situations where where places are bombed by white folks and they don't get the same harsh treatment that this kid got. It happens all the time. It's not a new thing. So if people are feeling, well, how is it he gets the severe situation and these other white folks don't? That I understand that. And for those Republicans that are acting like the feelings that black people have isn't like the feeling, not use that as an excuse to have someone killed. The feeling of it, I'm not talking about them using that as an excuse to murder someone. I'm saying the feeling of it. Those that act like that are black, especially that act like those feelings are invalid, they don't represent us either. Something's wrong with them. Because I'll be honest, I've not gone through what my ancestors have gone through. Have I gone through racial, have I been treated unfairly because of my race from cops? Yes, I've gone through that. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse to see another white kid get killed. I'm not doing that. So I'm not going to act like those feelings are invalid. And for those that do, I don't accept them either. But we can't use those feelings as a reason to see someone get murdered. Because the truth is this: God is not riding with with Karmelo or anyone who does that or anyone who thinks that way. He's not. Like, that's evil. What he did, he deserves to go. That boy actually deserves to die, if we were being honest. Like, he does. Like he does. He got 35 years. He barely think we got 35. He should have got 50. He should have got life. Because you went and you killed someone and you showed no remorse. You didn't come to the dad and say, you know what, I didn't mean to kill your son, I'm sorry. The father forgave him. It's not even making a race thing. He's like, look, this ain't a race thing. This comes down to a young man who killed my son. And he forgave that kid. He's angry, but he forgave him. So even the father's not making a race thing. So as much as the feeling of unanswered justices have come up at times, this is not a race thing. This is an inhumane thing. This is a psychopath thing. That kid Karmelo is a psychopath. That's what psychos do. They do evil and then they don't apologize. Or they don't care. Or they apologize, it's fake. Like he didn't have the decency to say, you know what? Which tells you he probably meant to kill that kid because he didn't even apologize. He didn't say to dad, you know what? I didn't mean to kill him. I didn't mean for it to happen. I'm sorry that it happened. I was like, he didn't explain where all that anger and rage was coming from. It takes rage. It takes anger to take somebody's life. You don't just out here killing people. Don't just go out here killing people. Something happened to you and now you're taking out on other people. So you're not going to just be out here killing people. So no. So like he didn't even do that. No, that boy deserves to be in prison for the rest of his life. I don't care about him being a child. That's another thing. Y'all out here, he's a kid. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. And you can use the excuse of people not having kids all you want to. That don't matter either. Because another man lost his son. So your feelings about him being a kid doesn't matter. You think it matters to God? I'll tell you something. The Bible teaches that at a certain time, young children came up to a prophet Elisha and disrespected him so much, so bad, that he cursed those kids. The Bible says she-bears came in and they killed them. So God is not sitting up here thinking about your child's age either at points. There are certain things you just cannot do. It doesn't matter if you're a kid or not. Their brain is not, no, it ain't gonna do, your brain's not being developed. Something like, you don't have to be an adult to know you shouldn't do certain things. That's not what it comes down to. So no, that's not what that is. And the reason the Lord used she-bears is because the Bible says a child left alone is a shame to his mother. That's why. So, that's a whole lot of emotional, wicked nonsense. Truth is that boy is evil. And that's why he got the time he got. He's like, they should have given him more time. Hopefully while he's in prison, he comes to a realization of how evil he was. He repents and gets right with God. But outside of that, that's it. That's all. All this extra back and forth nonsense, stop it. Stop it. Every side, there is some type of valid point. There's no valid points from the Democrats in regards about his age and how he lived his life before that. That stuff don't matter. That stuff don't matter. But I understand the feeling of unanswered situations and how we see more of severity towards black people than any other race. I get that part, but that still is no excuse for what that kid did. If anything, we should say this. Well, if that kid got 35 years, anybody who does what he's done, white, Hispanic, Asian, doesn't matter, they should get 35 years. That's what we should be said. There shouldn't be, if he got 15, you should get 15. No, you got 35, you need to get 35 because that was some evil stuff. Anyway, I just want to come on and say this to you guys. Give a different, I don't know, maybe it's a different perspective for you guys. If not, I just need to get this out because what's happening is crazy. All right, you guys have a good night. You take care.